There we go. Hello, 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 hello. 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 How's everyone doing today? Something feels off and I don't know what it is. And it's really bugging me. I've got all my lights on. Okay, the mic's on. Something's off and it's throwing me off and I don't know what it is. And I don't know what it is. It's bugging me. Now would be a good time to insert ads. No, YouTube. You changed my layout and it doesn't work. I don't like it. I can change to vertical. Apparently, I can change my stream to vertical now. That is stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you give me? That shirt goes hard. It's actually really soft. I use fabric softener, so it's very comfy. It's Friday and I think it's Saturday. No, I think I had a very productive morning. I had a very productive morning, and I think that kind of threw everything off because I think my body's like, it should be later in the day, and it's only 2. And I've been up since like 7, just working on stuff. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Also, fun fact, extruders work better when latch arms aren't broken. Yeah. So that was the other night. Long weekend. Oh yeah, it is a long weekend. It's Turkey Day. I got my turkey. I got my bird in the fridge. It's defrosted. Gonna do a salt water immersion base bath, whatever. Do that tomorrow and cook it on Sunday. I'm in the south, so it's not soda or pop. Everything is Coke. I want a Coke. What flavor? Yeah, I've experienced that. I've experienced that when I've gone down south. It's Coke. It's Coca-Cola. It's Pepsi-Cola. It's cola or Coke. That just throws me off. No, it's lo-fi beats. Lo-fi beats for this Turkey Day. Yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving's like the first or second weekend of October usually. Ours is much earlier in the year. So what are we doing today? I have, behold, great value ginger ale. One of the reasons I've kind of not been in a rush to build a Recreator is simply for the fact that I don't drink pop anymore. I don't even, like, especially 2-liter bottles of pop. I don't consume pop as much as I used to. And when I do, it's in can form. Because right now I drink Gamer Subs. Use code Canuck, save 10%. So on Tuesday night, I mentioned this on the stream, I think. Or no, I mentioned this on the Twitch stream. Tuesday night was garbage night from my neighborhood, right? Garbage and recycling. Garbage every Tuesday night, recycling every other. And it happened to be both. So I went on a walk Tuesday night at like 10 o'clock at night, because that's what time I remembered I needed to put the garbage out. I went for a walk. I walked down my entire street and back. Nobody had 2-liter pop bottles in their recycling bins that I could steal. So I went to Walmart and I bought 2 bottles. Yes, I consumed them. I did not waste most of it. But I have a pure virgin, unblemished bottle here that we will turn into Filament. And then I've already been I kind of screwed up a little bit on the first one, but behold, I have created Filament. I have created, look upon me, ye masses, and be in awe at my ability to turn plastic into plastic, but in a different shape. It is Filament. And now we do the fun part and figure out what I'm actually working with here. Because, where did I put my vernier? I had it out. Did I lose it? Where did I put my vernier? Vernier. I had it out a minute ago. I was checking stuff earlier. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. I didn't do something stupid and throw in the garbage, did I? Where is... Ow. Stab myself. Oh, here it is. I'm blind. So we're gonna see, but before I do this, This is filament. You have to either purchase it or make it. Or, if you're very lucky, every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance. We're going to be doing the draw at the end of stream. Go do that now. However, also, I do want to remind you all, today is the last day of Polymaker's restock event sale. 35% off on pretty much everything on their website, I believe. Up to 35% off. Most of it is 35% off. So if you're like me and you're planning to do a big build and you want to pick up a bunch of big spools of fiber on 3 kilogram PETG CF8, 35% off ain't too shabby. So use the link in the video description or the affiliate link pinned in chat and go check it out. Help get some good filament and help support the channel at the same time and save some money. So let's see what we're working with here. I totally did not read any guides or tutorials. I just went with the 900 speed setting because somebody in chat on the Tuesday stream said to use it. And 1.73, 1.7. Okay, this little end bit. Okay, so we're gonna have to trim the ends, but like 1.64. We're gonna have some variance here. 1.72. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be using this to like. You probably wouldn't want to do some precision engineering with this kind of material, but you know, if your car happens to break down in the desert right next to an abandoned pop bottle storage facility, and you happen to have a 3D printer with you, and you also happen to have the Recreator, and you also have access to power, and the thing you need to print, you already have the design for already on the 3D printer, and it's something that can be printed out of PET plastic, then you can save yourself from certain death. So, yeah. Do you have a filament diameter sensor? No. No. I'll be honest. I do the age-old trick. You want to know the trick for dealing with inconsistent filament? Are you ready? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Bring it in ready. Don't buy shit filament. Just get good filament. Believe me, that $10 spool of white label Amazon filament that is on sale on Prime Day from a company called a bunch of characters that I created by rolling my face across the keyboard. Yeah, $10 is $10. It might be okay. Or you can just get a spool of Polymaker for 35% off right now, and you know that shit's gonna be pretty good. So yeah. So what we gotta do, so here's the plan. Here's the plan. I'm gonna trim the ends off, and then we're gonna get some making. Or actually what we'll do is because this takes a while. The plan is I wanna start printing a boat with this, and then when it runs out, I wanna switch over to some that we make during the stream. So we need to get it making filament first, because that actually takes a little bit of time. This isn't the fastest solution in the world when it comes to making filament. So let's get this ready. We'll strip down a pop bottle. We'll get it going, and then while it's doing that, we need to make ourselves a large filament dryer, because I got to dry some 3 kilogram spools of PETG. So today is going to be mostly Recreator stuff, some shenanigans with the Recreator, some stuff about that, and then we'll get it printing, and then we'll do some drying, and then we're just going to have a fun day. And tomorrow's stream's going to be fun. We're building robots, and by building robots, we're printing the parts to build robots. So that's tomorrow's stream. But I did make some filament this morning, and here it is. I kind of screwed up. I have some that could still be extruded to filament, but I want to play with this because I want to see if we can use gloop to join this stuff together. I really want to see if we can use gloop and join it so we can make one long strip. I really want to see if I can do that. But first things first, we need to prep a pop bottle. So while I'm getting this all ready here, Don't forget to enter for your chance to win some Polymaker filament. Every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance. While you're down there, if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. But the coolest thing you can do if you're not is already subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss out when we do fun, cool content like this. Because we're turning pop bottles into filament. So first thing you got to do is the label. You got to get rid of the label because you can't turn the label into pop, into filament. I want to see how long that stays on my head. So I tried a few different ways. You don't want to cut the bottle. You don't want to cut the bottle. If you cut the bottle, that's bad. Okay? So you don't want to accidentally like destroy the bottle doing this. So what I ended up doing, and I don't know if you're supposed to do this, you got to cut the bottom off. I need to get sharper knives. There. See. Okay. So see how I cut it? And we have this little bit of a, I did it the wrong direction again. Shite. Whatever, I'll just do it the wrong way. I always mean, this is the second time I did it. See how the notch is, it ramps, I don't know if you can see. There you go, you can see it better there. See how it ramps up and then vertical down? That's because you need to make strips, and I always mean to do it the wrong way. Dang it. I did it the wrong way. Paper towel. It just means I got to pull this way instead of pulling this way. It's not a big deal. Cut straight into it. Yeah, remember, do as I say, not as I do. My hands are already destroyed. Like, I was doing concrete work this morning, and anyone who's done concrete knows how much fun that is. So my hands are already kind of destroyed today. Yes, I wore gloves. Concrete is corrosive. If you didn't know, concrete is corrosive. You don't want that shit on your skin. It will mess you up. It can cause like severe burns and whatnot to people if you just, yeah, be careful with concrete. Okay, so we got to get rid of this. So honestly, it's probably not the best way to do it. I just use sandpaper. The bottle is with hot water and then peel the label off gently. Yeah, I use sandpaper. And then I have, where'd I put it? Oh no, I've lost one of my little hats. I had a sponge bottle. Sticky stuff remover. Yeah, so the problem is I don't have any of that stuff. I thought I had Goo Gone. I don't. And I didn't have time to go buy some before stream. So, yeah. So I would normally use like Goo Gone and hot water and whatnot. But I don't have it. There we go. Just think of it as extra fiber. You know how you have carbon fiber reinforced filament? This is little bits of leftover plastic reinforced filament. There you go. Clean. The only downside of doing it this way, you won't get a nice, really perfectly nice, smooth finish. Consistent. ISO. Yeah, you can use ISO and whatnot, or kerosene or WD-40. There's a bunch of different stuff. I'm not going to be spraying WD-40 on this desk. So, you know what the best part about ISO is? It tells you where all the little cuts are on your hand. And you buy a roll of filament and save time. Should I just put like a no shit counter on the screen? Tom, congratulations. No offense to you. I'm using you as an example, okay? No shit buying filament is a lot easier. I take $20, I give it to the internet, Polymaker shows up with a spool. No shit, that's easier. We all know this. We all know this. Everyone here knows that what we're doing is more of a example in recycling and best practice and reusing something that would normally go off to wherever, you know, most of this gets burnt or buried or whatever. So this is a fun little, not experiment, because this is a product, you can buy a kit, you can make it. This is just kind of a fun little thing to show off some of the benefits of additive manufacturing, where you can recycle stuff, you can reuse it, you can remake it into other things. Yes, buying filament is a lot more productive in terms of the cost, the ROI, the quality of filament. We know that. We know that. But still, I'm turning pop bottles into Benchies. It's fun. Okay. Sorry, Tom. I seen like 20 of those comments last stream, so I'm just nipping it in a butt now. No offense, but you were just the example. So, because you were the first one to ask. Okay, so this is actually a pretty simple way of turning stripping this down, because you need to turn this into about 8mm thick strips that we could put in the magazine. I don't know what this part is called. I call it the magazine. I should probably print more of these. So what you do is there's a bunch of different ways of doing this. There's a few different techniques involving like weights to hold it down, but we have two bearings here. They're shaved, so they make a cutting surface. And it's actually, it's quite simple. You put that little notch there, you line that up, you kind of get it started, and voila, look. We're making strips of plastic. The first little bit is probably gonna be a little inconsistent, but once it gets going, it's pretty good. You can do like, put weight on top. I found honestly just going a little bit slower and pushing it down a little bit and spin as you pull, and it works pretty good. The key is you want it consistent. You want the strips being consistent thickness, because if they are variable, then your filament diameter is variable. Yep, see, I screwed up. I was talking, and now we have a thin patch. So I'm going to cut it here. And start over. Yep. Ooh, making filament. You can use this as a wire wrap. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen like, kind of like, not documentaries, but I've seen like videos where like in Africa, people use this as like a weave for like nets or roofing. But there's, you know, Tom Hanks in Castaway would love this shit. He'd be making so much shit out of this stuff. He would have like, you know, so many uses for this. There we go. And there we go. So you can't reuse the entire pop bottle. You do lose, you can, I have tried going up here. It gets a little annoying because it spirals. But this much of the pop bottle is no bueno. Okay. So we have this nice strip here of plastic that we are now going to turn into filament. So I need to put this in the magazine. So where is the end? Right about there. So this is pretty simple. There's like a little slot in there. If I can get it to actually go into the slot. There we go. Oop, there we go. Oh no! Don't get tangled. There we go. Okay. So this is our, I'm assuming this has a proper name. I like just calling it the magazine. So we have our little magazine here of strip of plastic. And now you need to cut it so that we have like a very narrow, small lead in. It's a bit annoying to do. It might be better to have a tool for this or cut it from the other end. And then you feed it through here. So let's turn this guy on. Okay. And then what you need to do is you feed it through and you hope you got something that comes out the end. Keen, thank you for becoming a channel member. Cheers and appreciate it. Our best way to support the channel, content I create, and the things I do. Become a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. That way other people can hang out when we do cool, fun stuff. Might have to make it a little bit thinner. It's kind of annoying, but you got to make like a really little thin strip. And the trick is we're doing this so that we could feed it through the nozzle. There we go. While it's cold. Because if you try to do this while it's hot, you're going to hate life because it's going to like deform and get all mushy and then you're pushing rope. Okay, so go down to print from media, speed 900. Hit print. And now we just wait for it to heat up a bit. Does it need a certain shape of pop bottle? No, it's if you use something that's a bit thicker, you would just pull it faster, so it would draw it out thinner. It has to be a PET-ish plastic. I honestly don't know. You probably, like, I've used other plastic. We tested on the stream where we made some, I think I threw it out. I don't know where it went. But we did make some filament using a zip tie container plastic. Like, as long as it's PET, as long as it's PET, you should be good. So. That would be really cool, Pulo, but I think as much as some people do support the channel, I think that's a bit much. Maybe. Don't you have deposit? Maybe? I think it's only liquor. Yeah, it's only liquor bottles in Ontario, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only liquor bottles in Ontario. I mean, I bought 2 bottles of Walmart brand pop, and they were $1.48 each Canadian for the bottles, like all in. So I'm not super concerned. Okay. Oop, let me grab my tweezers because getting up there. We're at 150. Because you do have to pull it as it warms up. Otherwise, it just turns to mush, and then you're going to hate life. And you've got to be careful not to over pull it. Because if you over pull it and rip it, you're going to have a crappy day. I haven't jammed this up yet, and I really don't want to. And there is a little fan shroud here, but there's no active cooling on this. So I'm going to use I can't remember where the idiom is from, but hot things are hot. So just be careful. Samuel gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers and appreciate it. So we're just kind of manually pultruding till I got a hand cramp. Where is one of these I can walk in? So the green is a little bit more, or actually we're not at temperature yet, so that's probably why too. Don't pull too hard. Okay. Hopefully I can feed this into this little guy here. Nope. I know the gears are moving. Oh wait, that goes that way. Which way is I need a gear that I can feed it into. There we go. This guy right here. Hopefully that'll hold. Nope, that's maybe. There's a bunch of holes that go through it. So you basically got to pull the filament out and stick it in one of the holes and hope it bites. Nope. Come on. Dang it. This might not work. Come on. There we go. That should work now. There we go. Stay in your thing. There we go. And now it should pultrude properly. There we go. So there's like a hole. The Bigger the diameter. That's a kind of a crappy angle. I'm sorry, guys. 1 second here. So you can see it working there, right? You can see it working there. So it's taking the strip of filament and it's pulling it through the heating element, which is heating it up and then forming it through a die, which essentially, this is a 3D printer hothead with the block just right attached, right? So you're gradually heating it up to 220, forming it through the nozzle, and then you're pulling it. And then the faster this pulls, the more drawn out it gets, and that's how you do your final size. So the nozzle diameter, I think it's like a 2.85 millimeter nozzle or something. It's a big nozzle. And you're basically, the more you draw it, that's how you control your diameter, essentially. So we have some filament here that I made earlier today. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna trim off the bad part of it. So the part that, you know, you can see here where we started and it's kind of crappy, but then it gets pretty consistent. So I'm just gonna go down, and then as soon as I see about 1.76 something consistent, I'll just chop it there. Yeah, so right about there. And then on the end will probably bulge, because as soon as it pulls the last little bit out, there's nothing to pull it anymore, so it probably won't form. So 7.6, 7.7, 7.8, 1.8. Yeah, so right about there. It's too fat. Okay, so now let's load this in a printer and we'll print something. Sound good? We have my ISO 1006 standard 3D printer. Say hello to a Prusa Mark 3.5. If it prints on this, it'll print on anything. That's my my thinking here. It's a Prusa. It's a Prusa. And it's one of the older ones, so it's got like the old feed gear and everything. So we're not getting no funky fancy neck extruder crazy setup here. This is just your bog standard ish printer, and it's covered in dust. Filament, unload filament. Now print a tiny bottle. Well, I'm going to try printing a Benchy. We're going to try with the Benchy. Do I have a scale out here? I don't think I brought my scale out here. I think, according to Josh, you get it, in a perfect world with the trimmings, and if you cut the bottle perfectly and you don't lose anything, you get about 25 grams of filament out of each bottle, apparently. So, yeah. And it's got a pretty big OD, so I'm wondering if I can, like, kind of... I need to print more of these guys. Do I have any small spool holders? Because this is kind of big. I tried putting a piece of tape across it just before it cut, like before it ran out, to see if it'll, like, if I fully let it cool on the thing, but it popped off. It's gonna be a mess. Jeez, yeah. Yeah, let's see. How can I do this? How can I do this? This is very stiff. Oh my god. We'll just do this. I'll just have a big loop. Big loopy. Big loopy it is. There we go. How much loopy would you like? Big loopy. Big loopy. We are loading. Do I have the option for PET? No. PETG. So apparently you just print with the PET settings. According to Josh, it's like, let me see here. PET 265 on the nozzle, 70C on the bed. So, oh, it's purging. It's not purging. Okay. Purge more. Wait 1 second. Let me try ABS temps. Return. Control. Temperature. Nozzle temperature. Let's bump it up to 260 and see if that'll. This is going good though. This is going good. 1.3. Yeah, flow is gonna be I'm gonna have to bump up the flow. Yeah, like right now we're getting about 1.7 on the diameter on that guy. Okay, so 251. $259, $260. Okay, extrude. Yeah, so we just had to heat it up. 230 was too cold. Cool down. And it's probably a little on the wet side. But we are extruding plastic. We have extruded pop bottle. So let's print something. Let's print something. Let's print something. Let's print a Benchy. Or wait, Prusa slicer. Okay, so this is a Prusa Mark 3.5 with input shaper. We are going to print with Prusa PETG profile. We're going to print with 0.25 structural. We go to filament. So we're going to print this at 265 for the first layer, 260 afterwards. Bed temp 70. 1.3 for the extrusion multiplier. And we are going to call this pop bottle pet. Okay. So we got that. We got that. Add shape. Oh, that's right. We can't do that in here. Downloads. 3D Benchy. Open. Start now. There we go. Send to connect. Oh wait, let me turn on print setting. Let me generate. No, we're skirt. Skirt. Through that. There we go. Send to connect. Confirm. Go to dongle. If you don't know why this printer is called dongle, That's some channel lore for you that you need to learn. We have lore now. I've decided we have lore. And the reason dongle is called dongle is lore. Nobody answer if they don't know. You don't know why it's called dongle. You missed out on the lore. Also, this is totally not on a flat surface, but I got a feeling that's the least of our worries. Print. Firmware update available. I think we'll be okay without firmware update. This is petting pretty good. I will say it's nice that this is nice and quiet. Oh, that fan's going. Like, why do I hear a fan and it's that fan? What about data? Star Trek kind of gone to shit after Next Generation. Let's be kind of honest. It's not the same. Have I tried the 6.4? I have it on the Core 1s and most of my Mark 4s. This guy is still on whatever it's on. Not too old, but yeah. So here's the question. How can I join these two? I am really wondering if I can just like... Because you have to like... You're going to double the thickness, but you're going to... Okay, let's get metal. And metal. Let's get some weight. Because I'm thinking here, because I have gloop, okay? Got some Benchy gloop here, a scarf joint. That's what I'm thinking. I want it to overlap, so I'm wondering if I just cut it down to like half diameter, and then just join the half diameter sections over each other. That'll kind of like, it'll work. And then like, hopefully they just kind of unfrick themselves after a bit. Where's it get? Yeah, this is all gunk right here. Your garbage. So I'm wondering if I put a little bit of that. Let me scuff this up. I'll take care of that in a minute. So let's see if this works. So if I put that like that, get a little bit of gloop here. Hopefully gloop don't stick to metal. I don't think it does. Dang it. There we go. Science. Wait. See if that works. Okay, let's kind of fix this a bit. We are extruding. It's plastic's coming out. It is doing stuff. Hopefully it doesn't stick to this bed too well. With PC brand sparkling. Ooh, let me take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Like, if it's relevant to the stream, post it in the stream chat. So what is this? This is PC brand sparkling lemon water. Oh, that's cool. No clicking? No clicking. It's, I mean, it's clear, so, you know, clear bottle on. I don't know what speeds and feeds I should be using. I figure the default Prusa PETG structural should be pretty okay, I think. Nope. Actually, it is a bit tacky. It is a bit tacky. Okay, maybe here, let me try this again. Let's do it on this, so I can actually lay these stupidly flat. Okay. The Mark 3S tool head is just a little finicky than the Mark 4 Core 1 XL. I mean, I have no problem with the Mark 3 tool head. Like, honestly, the only thing that kind of sucks with it, it's bigger, it's heavier, and it doesn't have the Nextruder gear. I love the Nextruder feed gear. That shit is so grippy. Like, it was funny. So I've been tuning the Venture XL. I've actually dropped it down. It used to have a 0.8 nozzle in it. It has a 0.6 nozzle in it, okay? The reason I swapped is multifold, but TLDR, I could not get that thing printing consistently at the quality I wanted, at the speeds I wanted with a 0.8 nozzle. It was just kind of very inconsistent. So, I mean, I could get it tuned, but then like I change one variable and it goes to shit, right? 0.4 nozzles are where it's at if you don't want to deal with shit. So I dropped it down to a 0.6. And this is PLA on the Venture XL with the Chibi Tube 0.6 nozzle, flow cap to 45 millimeters cubed a second. And that ain't bad. Okay, so then I started printing PETG, and I remembered how much I hate printing PETG fast because it's a gummy mess. But it printed this helmet in 14 hours. So this Bando helmet is a 14-hour print, and just, I think this is Buddy 3D PETG. It was a little stringy, and by a little, I mean very stringy on the inside, but it's pretty good. So the plan is, we're gonna, once we're done playing with this, and the print's going good, we're going to build a dehydrator, a filament dryer, so I can dry the fiber on spools that I got, so that tomorrow during the day, I could do some calibration testing with it, and then we could start printing astromech parts on the Venture XL. So that'll be fun. That will be fun. Joseph Pitt, $5. Cheers and appreciated. Missed the last couple streams, but I'm here now. Cheers. Question, will you be building a Micron anytime soon? I saw LDO. I've built a Micron. I built one a couple years ago on the channel. I know LDO is doing kits. I will most likely be building the Delta first, the Rolahan Delta. I'll probably be building that guy first and then doing the Micron. So that, I think that's what, you know, speaking with Jason, I think that's kind of what we figured out. I'll be honest, this is actually printing pretty good. I don't know. The plan is if this Benchy finishes, we'll just let it finish and then I'll start it again. And then we'll switch over to this filament. The door on Velta, Rolohan's Delta that LDO has a kit for. So. Also, we're up to week 2 of the 3D printed shoes, and they are breaking. They are starting to separate in a few areas. We are getting layer delamination, mostly in the back here. I've already glued it together with some E6000, so that's kind of holding it together. But I got this pretty nasty crack forming back there on the 1 foot. You can see it starting to separate back there. So that's the update. For those wondering, every time I live stream, I'm wearing 3D printed shoes now to see how long they last. So Victory Tech was kind enough to give me some shoes at 3D Printopia, and I figure, you know what? I'm gonna test them. No gloop. They don't make gloop for PETG, or it's not. It's more flex, whatever that filament is. Comfy. These are very comfy. These are really comfy. Bacteria Deluxe. I mean, there's nothing on them for the bacteria to grow on. So as long as you don't get them filled with gunk, and like I do wear socks in them. But you can definitely tell they're kind of broken in a bit. They're not as, I can feel my feet going through them, if that makes sense. This is printing way better than I thought it would. So here's a funny thing that I was thinking about, okay? Did I throw out my little example piece? I think I did. Pretty sure I did. I'm wondering, since this is all strips, right? It's strips. And when it goes to form the filament, it does like fold it over. So it's a little hollow. I'm wondering if you can like put something on it, like not like a coating or something, but like color it or make your own, like have a strip of carbon fiber through it or something like that. Make your own carbon fiber pet type thing. I'm wondering if you can embed something in this as it's like, as it gets, because if you look at it, that's basically how it works. Like as it goes in, it basically goes through and then it gets like rounded over. So you would just need to ensure that you envelop it. Yeah, I know colors. Colors would be easy. You just marker it. You just Sharpie it. But I'm really wondering if you had a string of carbon fiber, like it'd have to be a really small string, right? Because it's got to make it through a 0.4 nozzle, right? Would be kind of cool though. I mean, could I feed in like another filament with it? Because it's going to get drawn out. So I would just go faster so it would draw it out. Can I envelop like nylon with a PETG or a TPU? Ooh, a TPU inside would be kind of cool. Like a TPU core PETG. So it'd be very impact resistant. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Look at it go. This is printing way better than I thought it would. I'll be honest. All I did was just stock profile and just, well, okay, we're very early in the Benchy, so let's not get too far ahead. But I mean, like, this is pretty cool. Base mode only. Yeah, there's George. There are machines that make continuous carbon fiber strand filament. Maker Forge, Mark Forge. I think it's Mark Forge. They're like the big ones that do it. And the machines are pricey, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Like I have a few prints made with that stuff that I just happen to have. Like I got them at trade shows, and they are unbelievably solid. So, oh, the dehydrator. I'm waiting for this to dry, and then we're gonna make a dehydrator right now. We're gonna make the cheapest, easiest, big spool filament dryer you've ever seen. Actually, should probably make smaller holes. Many smaller holes versus one big hole, right? That'll work. I'm sure there's some sort of mathematical formula about how much, because to make a dehydrator, you got to put heat into something, but you need to let the moisture escape. Moisture escapes upward. So we're going to drill some holes in something. You'll see. You'll see. I have done TPU pet pultrusions and can get messy. Yeah, it's like almost like you would kind of want like something right here. You would want to have like some sort of die to ensure you're always folding it upward, and then you would want like another spool on top feeding the feeder, the insert filament in. So what you would do is you would get this started, and then once it's started, you would want to feed it in and hope it just kind of gets grabbed and pulled along. So it wouldn't be too hard to do. I mean, it's something we could try. Like maybe tomorrow night we'll do some crazy experiments. We'll do some crazy experimenting, but extrude another filament through a 0.4 nozzle, then use that as your center. I mean, you could do that. That's too much engineering. That's veering into CNC kitchen territory, and I cannot dance with the Germans when it comes to that kind of math and science stuff. Nylon thread. I have some fishing lines somewhere, but I don't think that would work. Does the plastic from two sides when extruding it? On this, no. What all this is doing, it's not grabbing the plastic at all. It's called pultrusion. So essentially what it's doing, okay, you have this you have this strip of plastic, you feed it through something hot that forms it, and then you grab it and you pull it. Pulling it is what pulls it through the heater. And that's why it's on a winder. So you pull it by hand till you have enough through that you can hook it into the winder, and then the winder pulls it at a consistent rate. So the winder is pulling it at a consistent 900 whatevers. The speed's 900 feet per minute, kilometers per hour, whales per football field per boulder for the Americans in my audience. I don't know, but it's going at 900. If you pull it faster, it draws it thinner. If you pull it slower, it draws it thicker. So, some Discord linkage. I don't have Facebook. Josh, I don't have Facebook. So I can't see that. American units are the best. Whales per football field per boulder. America. This is printing too damn good. I'm honestly like, I'm not saying I'm in shock, but I expected more drama. Like I was expecting more drama here, Josh. Yeah, it might be revolutions per minute or per day. No, it wouldn't be per minute, maybe hour. Josh, you're here. What is the 900 mean? Yeah, pull speed. Yeah, Parkies. Pull speed does affect diameter. It is open for non-users. Oh, let me try again. Oh, I just have to like close the overlay. Okay. Merge some 100% polyester ribbon with PET. Ooh. Oh, you bought oh. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then what's the other thing here? Yeah, it's just, I don't have Facebook, so I gotta... I mean, I have Facebook, but I don't use it. Yeah, this is exactly what you would do. So you would just kind of have it go through that. Oh, that is cool. Any issues with like retractions? 300 is slow, 600 medium. Well, I'm going at 900, and that seems to be the best so far. It goes up to 1200, I think. I don't even check. So that is really cool. Yeah, so you're just feeding polyester ribbon in, and it's just, that is cool. That is something I might try. Yeah, I saw the calibration stuff. I figured as long as it's within like 1.65 to like 1.75, just setting like extrusion for 1.3 and just going with it would be enough for just kind of faffing about. This isn't using as much. A Benchy's only like 15 grams, so I'm gonna have to print something bigger. Oh, I'm gonna print a cat. Somebody link me a Lucky Cat print, because that's the first 3D print I ever did, was Lucky Cat. I think I have him upstairs somewhere. I think he's upstairs. Oh no, he's right here. Yeah. This is the very first 3D thing I've ever 3D printed. I still have him. This was printed on my Monoprice Select Mini. This was the demo print that came with it. Okay, it's hollow. But this was the very first thing I've ever 3D printed on a 3D printer I owned, was this Lucky Cat. So, yeah. So, you know what's funny? Here's some Monoprice Select Mini lore for you. I have the V2. The V2 shipped with enough sample filament to print this. The V1 only had enough filament to print like 80% of this print. So you got the printer, you unboxed it, you put the sample filament in, it automatically printed the cat, and it ran out of filament. There was a link on the Monoprice Select Mini forums. One of the most popular links was a download to the top of the cat print that you would then print out and put the top of the cat on. Yeah. And then also you printed out the little chart with the magic numbers, because you're using like Cura 14 from like before the Ultimaker takeover. And the lead screw on the Monoprice Select Mini wasn't a lead screw. It was a piece of M4 threaded rod on a nut. So you wanted your Z height layers, your Z layers, in divisions of like full steps. Otherwise, it would have to do weird fractional math, and you would end up like over or under every layer. So you had like these weird like magic number layer heights you had to print with the Monoprice Select Mini to get like the best quality. So yeah, the good old days of 3D printing, where it was all like random tribal knowledge and we were all flying from the seat of our pants to figure shit out. Back in my day. Yep, everyone had those numbers printed. I mean, part of that printer lives on in the Bonsai. Oop, I heard a click. Oh, it was just the snapping over that. Every now and then, like it'll like jump over on this, and it's a little like ah. Old deltas. Deltas are, Mitch, Backpack Mitch, he gave me an Eris, a C-Me&C Eris kit to build. It's like partially assembled, but he like, here's a bit of parts, have fun. And I'm gonna build it. I don't know when, but I gotta figure that out. But yeah, deltas are one of those things that are like, they're fun to watch. They're fun to watch. There's just so many random issues with deltas. I just don't print with them regularly. They're deltas. Don't you have like a 6-foot tower of spools? I have so many empty spools, but we're going to be designing on Twitch maybe this week. I don't know, at some point. We're going to do a spool thrower. I want to build a spool thrower, so. I don't want a door on Velta. I want one too. Not so space. I mean, I still have the FL Suns, the big one right here. And like, it's flipping huge. Like here, I will show you. 1 second here. Ooh, what did I just get an email from? Who emailed me? Oh. New gamer subs drop. There you go. If you want the new gamer subs, I come in peace, glow in the dark waifu cup. There you go. It's on sale now. Go buy some. Use code Canuck. Save some money. That is not a shirt I can wear to go pick my kid up from school. That is not a shirt I can wear to go pick my kid up from school. It's very, if you've seen, Total Recall. Yeah. Look at it go. But yeah, this guy. So there's my air compressor. There's my air conditioning unit. There's a pile of boxes that have stuff in it I got to put away and some random frames. And then you have this FL Sun just kind of collecting dust. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I need to get rid of it. If you're in Southern Ontario and you want to buy it, make me an offer. Reach out to me on DMs on Discord and it can be yours. It should work. It worked last time I used it. It's literally just been sitting there for like a year. The only reason I haven't done anything with it is because it's already out of the way. But I want that spot back, so I need to, because I got to put the air conditioner under there now that I don't need it anymore. Should have a bucket load. Here's the thing though, Lauren. I don't need it. I have bigger printers already. I have more capable printers already. It's just a really big, really loud machine. So I don't know if the firmware is locked down. I got it. I did the unboxing video. I played with it for a bit. I did the video where I did a mod to it where I flipped the blower around so it drew air from inside the chamber than instead of outside. I did a little bit more testing with it, and then that's about it. Oh, we're about to run out of filament here, guys. We're about done. So then I'm gonna have to print something that uses more filament so that I can switch the spools. I'm gonna try putting a piece of tape on this to like keep it compact. Some drying in the current print. Like this print? Oh, dude, it's a pop bottle. I didn't dry shit. I drank the pop out of it. I rinsed it out. I wiped it down with a paper towel, and that's it. There we go. And then I have to let this cool. So we got to let this cool anyways. There we go. So that is it. So you can see what happens when it finishes. It just kind of... I just put this through here. Should drill out these holes. There we go. Behold. Fresh filament straight off the bottle. I'm gonna go put it in the freezer for a minute. Let it really, really cool down. I just want it to not do this, where it all just gets really big. Okay, let's see. Is our filament, English. Maybe I know I have a speech impediment, but maybe it's getting worse. Does pet G gloop work on pet? No, comes right apart. Okay, in that case, what if we use something even more advanced than gloop? What if we use what our forefathers envisioned? What if I use something and melt it? What if I melt that shit? Do I have an extension cable? No. Oh, dang it. This uses 2 prongs. Do I have a 2-prong extension cable over here? No. Okay, I'm going to be all ghetto and do it like right here. Okay. So we're going to try like just hitting it with the heat gun. See if that works. See if that works. I just want to try pultruting and see if I can get it to merge. That's basically what I'm trying to do. I just wanted to see if I can get it to merge. Where's the other end? There it is. How hot is this? I don't know. Do 300. And I probably shouldn't be using my tip that I use for heat sets, but like the smash button. I've got like no reach on this. Okay. Okay, let's go hotter. Hoping I could just put like some dimples in and have it just like... Anything higher will break the method of joining unless you're... Well, we'll see here. That might have been too much. Maybe. That seems pretty good. Okay. Yeah, that's... Okay. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Simple as that. Okay, let's get this filament off here. Okay, so much for it staying nice and wound up, eh? It's a nice green, though. I will say that's a very nice green. There we go. That'll do. Okay. So, you're going to come over here. Turn you on. And now we gotta feed you through here and get this going again. And then once it gets going, we will build ourselves a dehydrator. You need some custom. Yeah. Like it would be nice to have something to keep it a little bit more. Dude, this came out. Like you could tell it's stiffer than Pet G. You can tell it's stiffer than Pet G, but it's still like... Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare to get going. It's still a little on the warm side. There we go. Okay, print for media. Yeah, we have anywhere up to 1800. 900. Print. Where'd I put my tweezers? Where'd I put my good tweezers? Look at that Benchy go. I am so impressed with this. I'll be honest. I did not expect this to be like working as good as this is. I'll be honest. Should probably lock the ISO on this camera, eh? There we go. Quit. Ah, the filament. There we go. What a mess. I'm gonna mark it where it I marked it where it's gonna start. There it goes. So I know where to cut it. Because after everything after that, before that point is where I pulled it. Wow, this thing, can I lock the ISO on this camera? Video, audio, slow and fast. Auto. Highlight priority, cinema, program day, maybe? It's the screen. The screen's blowing it out. So we are making filament now. We are making filament. Look at that go. I am so impressed with this. I am so impressed with it. Like it's a little on the wispy side, that's for sure. But I mean, the fact that it's like homemade filament that we made out of pop bottles is kind of like, yeah, I can deal with the downsides of that. I can live with the downsides of that. Do I have a small spool I can put this on? I don't think I do. I have some small spools downstairs, but it's just gonna unravel. That's the thing. It's just gonna go and explode, right? Like even if you wind it up on a small spool, there's nothing to really keep it on the small spool. Like, it's just gonna go. Like you need like a self-contained spool to hold it. But the moment you let it go, you put it on something, it's just gonna go rah. So. Just keep it under tension. Yeah. I mean, it might be better. I wonder if you could anneal it. Like if annealing it is something where you put it on, you make it onto the spools and then you transfer it onto another spool and you hold it tight. And then you like put it in an oven at like 60, or not even an oven. You put it in like a filament dehydrator at 70 and you just let it like sit there for a day. That might help. Maybe. Yeah, if you are interested in getting one of these, there are kits from KB3D. I do have a link for it in the description below. It is not an affiliate link, it's just a regular link. So if you just want to buy one, go check it out. Drying also helps it hold. Yeah. It's nice putting hot stuff in metal drawers. Okay, so here is our conundrum. Because this still got like 40% left on the print. If it does run out of filament, I'll swap it over to the green. If not, I'll start another print, and then when it does run out, we'll swap over. So here's the conundrum. I'm going to be building an astromech, or at least I'm planning to. The Gundam is done. The next big like 3D printed project I want to do on the channel is something a bit more involved. Okay, so to give you an idea of how big it is, this is, oh, I gotta slice it. Okay, there we go. I'm like, where's my glitch out? I'm like, we should have a glitch out. There it is. So anyways, here is the dome of the astromech I want to build. Okay. So I've been playing around with the Venture XL. I've kind of decided that 0.6 is a better thing. So 0.6 nozzle. I've completely started over using a Voron profile. That's why you see the stupid little bed there. I got to fix that. But 0.6 nozzle. What is it? 3 walls. 5 top, 4 bottom, 20% infill, 2.5 kilograms in a day and a half. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. But I need filament. So here's the question. Because the Venture XL isn't enclosed, I can't use ABS. And because how thin these walls are, I kind of want the layer adhesion of PETG, okay? And I really like CF PETG. Because I've used it in some of the T45 power armor and I had really good results with it. So here's the question. I have these wonderful 3 kilogram spools of fiber on CF PETG. The question is, some of it is CFO 8%, so 8% PETG, and some of it is 17% PETG. No supports, not needed. Not needed. These windows here on the side, that is breakaway support designed into the model. These are breakaway supports designed into the model. And then also, yep, even up here, the top has a built-in lattice frame that juts out. So you don't need supports. So, oh, this is PET. Sorry, this is PET. Okay, so yeah, then we're doing the 8% recycled then. I forgot this is PET. I might save this for the legs. I think this for the legs then. I can't remember. I bought some of this a while ago and I've had it sitting for a bit, and then I ordered more of this stuff because this stuff just came out. Because I also have some of the ASA, but the thing isn't inside. It's the Michael Baddeley files. I'm a member of his Patreon, so I got all those. So I might save these for the legs, the PET for the legs, because PET is pretty strong. It's like ABS almost. It's the same plastic we're printing right now, actually. So I think I'll save this for the legs. So here's the conundrum. I've had this spool sitting on the floor for like a year. I haven't opened it, but I forgot I ordered it. So here is the conundrum. Is it dry? It should be. This spool should be dry, okay? It's PET, CFO8. Should be dry. Should be. But the spool's also about $100, okay? I'm not gonna just load this in the printer and hit YOLO and send it. Okay, first I have to do a little bit of calibration. I want to do some test prints to see how this prints on the Venture XL. And we do have about 500 grams to work with. And I do have the working filament runout sensor on it. So if I do run out, I can swap spools. It's not the end of the world, but it's not something I'd rather risk, okay? It is vacuum sealed. It is vacuum sealed. So I want to dry it. There's only one problem, okay? Here is the problem. Sorry, TPU, you'll go back in. You need to get drier, but I'll dry you later. So here's the problem, okay? That ain't gonna work, okay? Most filament dryers are designed for 1 kilogram spools. This is a 3 kilogram spool. It is, as the kiddies would say, a big chungus of a spool, okay? Not quite gargantuan. It ain't no 5 kilo. It ain't no 10 kilo, okay? But it's a bit on the, it's thick with 3 C's, okay? So what do we do here? Well, you go down to your local Value Village, you know, pawn shop, or you just buy it new on sale, and you go get one of these guys. This is a food dehydrator. This is a Sultan Vita Pro food dehydrator. Okay. I picked this up for like 30 bucks. It has these nice little rings that you can put your meats on when you're dehydrating. Cut that shit out. Okay. And then you cut it out. And then you take your spool of filament, you put it in there, you turn it on, you put the lid on. And then we're good. Huzzah! So, again, cut the rings out. Let's open this. We'll open this the correct way. Okay. Beautiful. Fine vintage. Okay. So we're going to put that in there, and that ain't going to work. So then we go down to the Home Depot. And we get ourselves a Home Depot bucket. Okay. Ta-da. We just need to drill some holes in the top. So you drill some holes in the top so all the hot air can escape. And voila. Oh, I got to cut out some rings in here. I think I have to cut these rings out. Yeah, I have to cut the rings out. That's what it is. So there's some rings in here we're going to have to cut out. I'm going to use the Dremel. So let me put the filament somewhere where I'm not going to get it covered in crap, because I have to cut some of these rings off so the bucket sits flat. You still want the rings. You still want the rings because the rings have gaps in them so that air gets drawn in. So you want to draw in air from the bottom and then vent it out the top. Okay. What is that noise? Oh, shoot. The little teaser strip that I started it with got caught in the gear. The little teaser strip got caught in the gear and was catching in the gear and causing it to buckle. Let me trim that off. So the plan is cut off these little tabs here, so now the bucket will sit flat. Delicious melted plastic. My favorite. Who loves a little melted, probably some sort of polypropylene or something? I don't know. I love melted plastic. It's so good for you. See, even in real life, you get wispies with pet. There we go. Dremel, is it? It's a Dremel 8220 battery. Oh, okay, we're out of filament. Okay, it broke. It did not make it through the thing. Okay, so joining the filament did not work. Joining the filament did not work. It was worth a shot. Joining the filament did not work. It just ripped. Okay, so now let that cool off. Let's get this back up here. So now it's even better. Do that. We have our lid. So that means the bucket should fit in here properly now. So it'll sit down. There's still little gaps to let air in, right? Now we just need to put some holes in the top so that the hot air can get out. Did you slow it down? No, I was still running it at 900. Ain't nobody got time for that. So how many holes should I drill in here? This is like a 1/8 inch drill bit. There we go. Say hello to the boat bucket. Wow, I ruined that. Say hello to the Pope bucket because it's very holy. Now, we can put our spool in. And it will dry. And also, I can dry that spool of ABS that's been sitting around for a while. And I can also dry that other spool of plastic I need to dry. And I can probably also dry this too. And just... These buckets are like $5. And this you can pick up, you can buy tons of these. They're dirt cheap. You can get them for like 20, 30 bucks if you get them used. I bought this new and it cost me like 40 bucks at a crappy tire. So it's a very, very cheap way to make a filament dryer, especially for larger spools or multiple spools. This will get up to 70. I don't know how hot it'll get with the added volume. But it should be enough to get this dry. What temperature are you supposed to dry PET at? What is the actual drying temperature for PETG? I'm gonna dry the symmetrical. That's what several years of civil engineering and tool making get you. 65-ish, yeah. 65. So this goes up to 70, I think. Yeah, it goes up to 70. So 65, we'll go about there. And then we could dry it. Sweet, eh? Stick a thermistor. You could stick a thermistor, or you could just, you know, grab one of these guys and just kind of put it on top and then occasionally just take the lid off and look. Liz is here. Hi, Liz. She got all mad at me because I didn't raid anyone yesterday on the Twitch stream. Forget, I'm not used to it. And all the people that I watch on Twitch don't raid, so. Look at that bottle go. Look at that. Look. Look at it go. It's almost done. All the grease rubbing off the all the grease rubbing off of the lead screws is probably not healthy. Some duct tape. I could put duct tape on it to like attach it to one of the rings, but I don't need to. So I'm gonna go put this on the ground now, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing because this spool needs to dry. This Polylite spool's been like sitting on my floor. Well, it's been on a shelf, but it's been open like this for like a year. Not a year, but like all summer. So I gotta dry it out before I use it. When I got the Venture XL, I made it a point to get a bunch of big spools, and I haven't used any of them yet because it took like all summer to build the Venture XL, and then now it's not enclosed yet. What's that noise? Oh, it's that. Let's put the fiber on top. Put our lid on. Turn it on. And let it do its thing. Sweet. Easy peasy. What's left to do? I need to get panels. I found a place that's actually like 10 minutes from my house that does ACM panels, but they do it like industrially, like for commercial stuff. So I don't know if they would be willing to like, hey, I need like 4 panels cut, because I don't want to use the panels that came with the kit. They're kind of crappy, and I want panels that sit on the outside of the frame. So I need to get some proper panels made for it so I can enclose it. Also, the plan is tomorrow, if all goes well, we're going to be going out to get a shed, and then I'll be building it over the weekend, because this was my morning, was pouring a concrete, well, not a concrete pad. Like, I mean, it is a concrete pad, but there's mostly brick under there. I just leveled it with concrete. But I'm putting a pad in my backyard so I could put a shed in my backyard so that I could take a bunch of shit that's in my garage, like my lawnmower and like my gas cans and like all the stuff that I store in my garage and the bikes and whatnot, and I can put them in the shed so that I can turn the whole front of the garage here into a workshop area, so I can print stuff, I can use the CNCs, I can use the laser, I can sand stuff. I'm going to put a proper paint booth out there with a sand, like have it so I can vent and paint and sand and all that, and do all that jazz. So yeah. So I don't know if PCBWay will ship me a 4 foot by 4 foot panel. How big of a panel do I need? I mean, I have the dimensions in a CAD drawing, but 1 second. Focus on the boat. There we go. Let's take a looky-loo. So I need panels that are like, I don't know, like 3 feet by 3 feet, roughly. Yeah, roughly 3 feet by 3 feet. Because the frame itself, like the doorway, like the front opening is like 830 centimeters, or 83 centimeters, 830 millimeters. So yeah. So there is that. Yeah, this is really stiff filament. Like, it is. Ooh, do you see it? I don't think dog hair reinforced filament is a good idea. Put my car in there. We haven't been able to park a car in this garage. Okay, you want to know what's funny? Me and my wife, we've owned this house since 2016. We have never parked a car in the garage. For one, it's a 1.5 car garage, right? So it's not a 2 car garage. It's a 1.5 car garage. So you have room to park a car and like walk around it at least. It's not like as tight as a 1 car. It's 15 feet wide. My garage is 15 feet by 20 feet. The problem is it's always been storage. Like, we had the bikes out here, and we had like, just, this was our storage because we didn't have a shed. So everything for the yard and everything was out here. Our, you know, beer fridge and all that's out here. So it was like, there was enough stuff out here that it's like parking the car would be a pain. Plus, with it being a 1 car garage or 1.5 car garage, our driveway is a 2 car driveway, right? Wispies. So if, you know, you have your 2 cars, if the garage is in the center. So if you wanted to park in the garage, you would have to like go around the other car, and we can't do that because our driveway has a sidewalk. So you can't park your car where you're blocking the sidewalk. So we can't use like the bottom third of our driveway. So you have to park up close to the house. And then if another car were to come in and try to park in the garage, it would have to like around, and it would just be annoying. So we just never parked, and only one of us would ever be able to do it. So who gets to park in the garage? So we've just never parked in the garage. Okay, I got to get one of those lucky cats. I got to get one of those lucky cats. I got to download a lucky cat print. I want to print one out of a pop bottle. There's the lucky cat. I think it's the same model too. Is it? Yep, same model. Yep, same model. Download. Money cat. Look at that little kitty. How many grams? 24 grams? We should be good. We're gonna run out of white just at the end of the Benchy. So that means I gotta get pultrusion. Funny, you could tell where the areas I scratched up are because they don't really clean up. Okay, so this was the stuff I tried to fix. Turn this back on. What temperature are we at? 43. Okay, we should be good. Okay. Print from media. 900. Print. Should I be... You know what? We'll try 600. You know what? Stop print. Stop. Print from media. Let's try 600. Let's see what 600 gives me. Let's try 600. I should probably get a scale to actually weigh this. Once this gets going, I'm going to run downstairs, get a scale, and see how much this weighs. I want to be able to change like different. I want a print that has different colors in it. Oh, where is the pliers? Oh shoot, that came through. Oh no. Remember to pull it so it actually. Where's the proper tweezers? Here they are. The tweezers that came with the kit are better for this, I found. Look at that boat. Look at that boat doing boat stuff. 99%. I'll be damned. That printed way better than I thought it would. I'll be honest. It is funny when you pull, when you're watching it heat up, but if you pull the filament fast enough, you can watch the temperature actually drop. There we go. Okay. Where is... Ooh, that smells good. Behold. Oh, it's in one piece. Came off the bed good. I mean, like... Is it the best Benchy in the world? No. It's a bit on the stringy side. And it's got a like a foamy texture to it. Which is probably parts of the this is probably part of the label. But it's solid. Like it's, oh, okay. Oh, except for that part. That is so cool. That is so cool. That is so cool. Okay, send to connect. Let's print ourselves a cat. Oh wait, I should probably unload. You know what? I'm gonna let, there's only this much filament. I'll just let it start, and when it runs out, I'll just feed in new stuff. So what do we got here? Let's do 2 walls. I wanted to use more filament. I wanted to use a little bit more filament. Let's do 3 walls. And I wanted to actually run out of filament, switch filament over. Send to connect. Set ready and print. Confirm. Because I wanted to be different colors. Where was that other stuff I printed? We had this stuff. Oh yeah, we got this little guy here. It would be kind of fun to go right from the pultruder right into the printer. Yes, I know there's a firmware update. Ignore. Continue. There you go. Pet Plus. Olive oil. What are you? Oh, for the label, I use sandpaper because I don't have any, like, all I have is ISO, so I just sanded it. It worked. Extra texture, right? It's extra grittiness. Retraction issues. Oh, I could see retraction being a problem. I could totally see retraction being a problem. Okay, so let's see. So right now I'm pulling at 600 now. So will that affect the diameter? Because right now we're reading at 1.7, so it's about the same. Josh, how big of a difference does the pull speed lead to when it comes to the thickness? Because the faster you pull, the more it should go, but I mean, it might be better to go slower because you would get like a more solid melt into the filament. Like, tends this regardless of the speed. Yeah, that's actually, watching it now, I'm kind of thinking that. Like, I did all this at 900, so I'm doing this at 600 now. Because what I want to do is print with this little bit of clear, and then when it's done, I'm going to feed this little bit of green, and then when this runs out, I'm going to hopefully have this done, so I can feed this right in, and then I can finish with the big green. Because I'm out of pop bottles. I only had the 2 pop bottles. So. It's root beer. I can smell the root beer. I can smell root beer. I'm like, what does that smell? I can't smell the root beer on the print, but I can smell the root beer. Oh, it smells so good. Now I want like a pulled pork sandwich. Damn it. $300 equals 25 grams in 2 hours versus 25 grams in 35 minutes at 1200. Okay, that makes sense. Go. We'll zoom out a little bit for this guy so you can actually watch the filament. It's going to run out of filament on the first layer. That's always a good sign. Barbecue, dude. So what you do is you make pulled pork, and you get a pork shoulder or something, and you cook it in your slow cooker with some root beer and barbecue sauce. This is going to run out of filament right away. Yeah, layer 1 out of filament. Can I just feed it right in? Yeah, no, too late. Okay. Yep, feed in a new one. Go, feed in new. And now we're printing green. Root beer braised short ribs before, they're amazing. It's amazing what you can do with a bunch of sugar, brown sugar, and barbecue sauce when you buy cheap meat. Like, I usually, whenever, like, I make it a point to try and buy cheap meat at times, because you'd be surprised how often it's nice to just use up like a $6, you know, cut of pork or something. Like, I'll get like the really shitty thin pork chops, and I'll fry them up. I'll like, not schnitzel, what's it called? Katsu pork or whatever. I'll do it like that, or with rice or something. Like, you don't always have to buy the best cuts of meat, and especially if you're gonna be like slathering it with other stuff, it's kind of a waste. This is ginger ale. If you're wondering what this is great value ginger ale. Is the filament that we're printing with right now. I don't consume sugar. I try to avoid it. Like, I am not a sweet tooth person. I don't eat candy. My vice is baked goods. Give me some solid baked goods, like some, dude, cheesy bread, like cheese croissant, or anything fluffy pastry. Oh man, that is my vice, is pastries. Don't forget, we are doing the giveaway at the end of stream. So if you haven't entered, you don't have to get pop bottles, okay, and cut up pop bottles and turn them into filament. You could just buy filament, okay? Or you can win it, because this stream today, we're giving away a spool of filament. We do that every stream. Link in the description, enter for your chance. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. Coolest way to help support the community, content create, things I do. Or for today only, because you had the rest of the week and you don't have a time machine, so you can't go back in time to experience more days of this. For today only, Polymaker has a 35% on sale right now. So if you want to get, you know, some big honking spools of Fiberon PET 17% carbon fiber for 35% off, use the link pinned in chat. An affiliate link, costs you nothing extra, it goes a long way in supporting the channel. Get croissants from Costco, put them in 350-degree oven 50. Dude, Apollo, you get croissant, you get a croissant from Costco, the big ones, slice them in half, make French toast with them. Make French toast with your croissant. Cinnamon French toast made with croissant. Oh, mon Dieu. Je m'appelle cochon. Grand cochon. Croissant, omelette du fromage. You know, it's actually grammatically correct to say omelette au fromage. Omelette du fromage is not correct grammatically. It's omelette au fromage. So here's the question. Is this going to be done printing in time to feed it in there, or am I going to have to go to my other green spool? So I want to do multicolor. Costco croissants are not very solid. They are very fluffy with the texture. They go yum 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 yum. By the way, you do not want to see the setup I have for printing large spools of filament over here. I don't want to put the large spools of filament on the Venture XL, because right now the only way I have to mount it is like on top. So what I have is I have these spool holders, which, yes, Apollo, these are the ones you sent me. They're really nice. I have these spool holders. I put the big spool of filament there. It feeds up, and then on the frame, I have the frame-mounted spool holder that only holds 1 kilogram spools. I have an empty spool there, so it wraps around that, and then it goes through like a little, like one of the little arms like the Prusa's have for guiding the filaments, and then it feeds down to the tool head. So it's got like, it goes up, over, down, because I'd rather the big spool be on the ground instead of on the side of the printer. KB3D, 43 months, can't even count. Dude, this kit, you gave me a lot of extra screws. I don't know if, like, I know you guys had to put together a kit for me at the show. I had a lot of extra screws. I'm not complaining, but this kit went together so good, I'm just gonna say. The only thing I can say was this guy doesn't fit, the magnet don't fit on the thing, but I don't use it anyways. But yeah, no, it went together so good. So you guys did good on the kit, and it worked really good. It's just now I gotta make it a point to try and collect all my pop bottles. I gotta make it a point now on recycling day to go around and try and steal pop bottles from my neighbors, because it's like now I need to actually get pop bottles. It'd be really cool. Okay, Josh, you know what you need? You need a pre-grinder. You need to design something that takes like all my leftover filament and turns it into strips of plastic that I can then run through this to turn into filament. Because like I have all these leftover prints and like chunks of plastic like this. What am I gonna do with this spool? This is an empty spool. It's huge. It's garbage, but I can't feed it in here. Figure something out. Joiner, I do have a filament joiner. I was just hoping I could be lazy and just connect the strips together. A pellet feeder. A pellet feeder to this would be kind of cool. The thing is, you would have to like, I mean, if you, it's how do you get the extrusion correct? Like a pellet feeder to a pultrusion is yeah. We're trying a whole ass. Well, that's the thing. The thing is though, so the problem with filament extruders, right? Like the Devo and like the expensive ones that actually work, they cost so much money. You would have to print and waste so much printing. Like again, the Gundam. I have a bucket with like 7 or 8 kilograms of spoiled, like leftover support material and a couple failed prints from the Gundam, okay? That was 50 kilograms of printing a project where I knew I would have a bunch of waste. If I was running a print farm, I would optimize away waste as much as possible. But even then, that's 8 kilograms of filament, okay? So if I were to grind up all that filament, turn it back into filament, that's 8 spools, okay? That's like what, 150 bucks from Polymaker on a sale? Even more if you like go cheaper and buy bigger spools or off-brand filament. So maybe 150, maybe $200, okay? Those extrusion machines are like 5 to 6 grand. You have to reuse you need to be wasting so much plastic for it to be worth to buy something to grind up your leftover prints to turn into filament for it to make sense. And yes, Tom, if you're still here, if you thought this was, you know, inefficient because, you know, oh, you got to waste a whole pop bottle to make, you know, 25 grams of filament, right? It's not, go buy filament. Yes, I know. If you thought this was inefficient. Yeah, I'm surprised Bamboo doesn't have something like that, considering like, you know, tinfoil hat. The whole reason they put all their money in with single nozzle AMS units, single nozzle multicolor printing, instead of trying to go and develop an actual good tool changer like Snapmaker did for a budget, is because they would make more money from the filament because you waste so much filament, right? That's my tinfoil hat thing, is that Bamboo decided, hey, instead of us, you know, spending our R&D money to make something that wastes less filament, let's try and make something that's cheaper that wastes a bunch of filament so we can make more money on the filament, because that's where they make their money, is on the filament. So now that they've put all their eggs in that basket and everyone else is coming out with tool changers, because I guarantee you, everyone here who bought a Snapmaker U1, once you get it, okay? Again, I don't have a Snapmaker U1. I don't have a pre-production unit. I didn't buy the Kickstarter. I got no eggs in this basket at all, okay? But for everyone in my audience here right now who's gonna be getting a Snapmaker U1, and I know there's a bunch of you, the moment you print with a proper tool changer, okay? I have a Prusa XL. The moment you print with a proper tool changer and you experience how awesome a proper tool changer is in both time savings, capabilities, able to actually truly print multi-material, and less wastage of filament, you ain't ever going back to single nozzle multi-material. You ain't ever going back. That's like, you put the horse down. You don't need that. You have an engine now. Like, yeah. How much do we got left? Oh, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Will it finish in time? Can I speed it up? Can I speed it up? Imagine Bamboo wanting to turn 3D printing into regular printing, cheap machines with massively over... I saw somebody posted on the 3D printing subreddit. They were a little too tinfoil hatty, but they're like, you know, the P1 refresh, because they're coming out with the P2S. I see people like, oh, it's gonna be a bigger machine and all. I'm like, no, dog, it's gonna be, the P2S is gonna be the P1S with, you know, maybe it's gonna have either the H2 hot end or the A1 hot end, because right now they have like 4 different hot ends in their lineup. They're gonna simplify the hot ends. It's gonna have a newer hot end, maybe some reconfiguring of the tool head, maybe better extruder or something, maybe something from the H2. They're basically gonna take a couple things from the H2 and A1 and just kind of backport it. It ain't gonna be a new printer, it's a refresh. Maybe it'll have finally decent Wi-Fi too, and a better screen. but like you're not going to be getting a 300 millimeter P2S. It's going to be the same machine, just a little bit better. I mean, the machine's like what, 3-4 years old now. So yeah. But yeah, I saw somebody was going all tinfoil hatty on the 3D printing subreddit, like, this is just going to be another excuse for them to put DRM in and lock it down. And somebody's like, they can't do that. If you just cut the RFID tag off the filament and put it on another spool, and then you won't know any better. And I'm like, yeah, no, dog, they can actually lock it down. Like, I don't think they will, because the backlash would be obscene, but they could very easily lock it down. You just have the RFID tags on the filament are coded with like a individual ID, and as you print, it keeps track of how much filament was printed with that ID. And then once it runs out of filament, it just don't print anymore. Stratasys does that. Stratasys machines, if you ever know anyone who has a Stratasys machine at like their workplace, the spools finish before the spools finish. And they throw out the spool cartridges with filament still in it because the system says it's empty. You know, there's still filament in there. So, okay, we gotta wait a little minute here. I gotta wait a minute. I got half of mine. Oh. What was that? We had a skip. Why are you skipping? Why are you skipping? Okay, we're just going to call it there, because that's being a little concerning. Ah. I don't know why I was doing that. Okay. You ready for this? Right in. Whatever we get is what we get. Go. Whatever we get is what we get. I don't know why it was jamming up there. I mean, it's a clean pull. Oh, there's like a chunk in there. Yep, we're good. There we go. Sometimes they get a little misaligned, yeah. If it dies, it dies, yeah. Could be the gears binding a bit. Nope, gears move freely. Like these gears, I could put a little white lithium on it, but I really don't think I need to. In the Mark IV printing, it's not a Mark IV, it's a 3.5. This is, okay, this Prusa 3.5 is my ISO 9001 standard printer. Okay, you know how there's like the official way to make a cup of tea for scientific studies? You know, there's a whole video on it. This is my printer. When I need to print something that I just need to confirm that it prints on a 3D printer, this is the printer I go to, a Prusa Mark 3.5. Why? It's got modern electronics in it, so I can transfer files to it remotely and monitor remotely, which is nice. It's got features modern printers have. But hardware-wise, yeah, beard hair in my mouth. One second. Hardware-wise, there is nothing special about this printer. It's got a very simple gearing system. It's got dual gear, single drive for the extruder. It's basically, as you know, compared to modern printers, it's least bells and whistles hardware-wise. So it's open frame. It's a bed flinger. It doesn't have some crazy, super weird modern gearing with the extruder. It works. That's what it is. This is, you know, not minimum viable product, right? There are cheaper printers out there, but like if it prints on this, it'll print on any modern printer. That's kind of my thinking with using this printer for testing stuff like this. So I got in a oh, you finally got in a Pulo. Want to know something silly but awesome about the Mark 6 fun size? Sure. Sure, Dream. What's silly and fun and exciting about the Mark 6? I do like how easy it is to do a cold pull on it, though. You just... I do want to get some clear now and do, like, paint it with markers and extrude out some colors. And then properly dry it, too. It was designed in This thing was designed in Tinkercad? You madman. That's insane. That's loco. You loco. You cray cray. For real? No capping? Don't forget, we do have the giveaway at 5 o'clock. So if you haven't entered for your chance to win some Polymaker Filament, link in the description. Go ahead, enter now. And then while you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell. If you do want to buy one of these kits, I do have a non-affiliate link with KB3D. I should probably get an affiliate link with KB3D. Chris, are you still here? We need to talk about that. So if you do want to buy one of these, I do have a link in the description. While you're down there, if you also want to buy some Polymaker Filament, they have a 35% on sale right now. You get some filament sale. Remember, price, when it's on sale, it's on sale. So you might as well stock up. And if you want to help support the channel, content I create, and things I do directly, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or again, if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. Probably should. Yeah. The thing is, like, I don't like promoting the affiliate links that often unless there's like a sales going on. Like, I don't know. I don't want to come off too shilly. I don't know. But, you know, having a list of affiliate links ain't bad. I know I've had people mention, like, they like watching the streams because I don't really annoy people too much with affiliate links. And, like, buy this product. Doesn't seem very infomercial-y, unlike some people. I should set up a blue screen one day and start the stream as an infomercial. Buy now! 4 easy payments of $29.99.99. Yeah, Voron shill for the most profitable 3D printing company in the world. Voron. Although there are people that are like super adamant that Voron is like an established company and there is profits and like it's all a scam, and I'm like, I wish. I wish, as a content creator, I wish sometimes I made the money that some people think we make doing what we do in certain regards. Like when you know, you don't see him around because he's gone off the deep end, but there used to be somebody who like accused anyone of like being a paid Prusa shill. I mean, like, my brother in Christ, I can't pay my mortgage with a free printer and a couple spools of filament here and there. That's all I get. That's all I've ever gotten for Prusa. And an affiliate link. Ooh, wow, an affiliate link. We had Voron money. Post-scarcity society, when? Get in trouble. Oh, I know. You know, I'm in Canada. We have our not FTC. We had our CRTC. Is it CRTC? And the Americans, you have the same thing where, like, if you are doing an ad, it has to be an ad. Like, you can't fake an ad. You can't, like, you know, company can't pay me a bunch of money to live stream unboxing their printer and saying it's the best printer in the world and me not disclose it. Like, I have to disclose it. Like, there are rules to that stuff, and if you break those rules, you get in a lot of trouble. I mean, oh yeah, the apron. Don't mention him. Doesn't deserve any attention. No. Gone off the deep end last I checked. Not worth looking into. I love this little thing. Like, let me unplug it. Like, look at this. I can almost fit this in my pocket. I love this thing. Like, there's your, oop, let me zoom out. There's your filament production line right there. If there was an attachment on here to turn like a grinder into this, oh my God, this would be the cutest little filament production line. And then what you would be really cool is if you had a buffer system so that it could keep making filament while it also feeds into a printer. That would be cool. But then you would have to have the printer set up so that like the max flow rate doesn't exceed this or something. But still, like, this is it. Everything we're printing today was made with this. Just, that's all you need. This, a pair of scissors, and a razor blade. This is it. You could honestly, you could make that even smaller if you didn't need the big screen and if you went with like an external power supply. Like it only needs, like, it's running off 60 watts. You could probably make this smaller. Like it's made with leftover ender parts, so. We're working on Hatsy's, ooh, nice. An ecosystem. An ecosystem, if you will. Attachment. I have this guy here. Like I have this thing for stripping the bottles with the pennies and the bearings. And it works, but words of Voron, soon. Yeah, soon. Have you seen the Mark 6? I'm assuming it looks pretty much the same. It would just be a different screen and hot end, right? Like, the only thing on here that's really ender is the heater. And, well, any 12864 screen would fill in the role here. Any controller board that is running Marlin would work. Pretty much any heater you can make into this, any hot end, you just attach the block directly, run a PID, and sit at 220. And then a generic, any stepper motor. Like, this thing has like no requirement for any real specific hardware. Like, this thing is pretty hardware agnostic. Like, you can make this out of pretty much anything. Look at the happy cat. Let me a link on Discord. The Mark 6 with the... Yeah, see, it's pretty much like, yeah, it's just a hot end, a motor, and the rest is printed. You really don't need a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure you don't even need, like, custom firmware. All it does is this is the stock, like, this thing probably still thinks it's an ender. Poor son of a bitch. But it thinks it's an ender. All it has is a G code to just heat extruder to temperature and run one motor for X speed infinitely. Like, yeah, it's just G code. Although you probably have to tell it doesn't have a heated bed anymore, but whatever. Like, it's just, there's nothing fancy to this. It's one motor and a heater and some printed gears. Yeah, there's like no barriers to entry on this. Although I would like to, it would be kind of fun to machine some of this. Just for shits and giggles, but like you don't need to. Trying to do a mod for stealth burners where all the parts connect to each other with internal pins. Have fun! Oh yeah, the Prusa one I could see being a little antsy about firmware. Pruses take a little bit more time to have a little bit more safety in their machines, so. You want machine saving, construct 3D. Well, yeah, they sell a commercial product in the UK, which is like, you know, oi, bro, have you got a license for that? Like, when it comes to nanny state, you got the UK. So, of course, they're going to have to go through all kinds of hoops to have safety features, which, to be fair, oh no, they had to make their machine even safer. Oh, woe is the world. And then we just kind of hang all that on there. This works so good. I love this thing. And it's PET, which is actually like a really good plastic for a lot of use cases. Like PET itself is a really good material. I've used it in place of ABS in a few places. It's, I'm trying to remember, I can never remember if it's like on one side or the other, but it's stiffer than ABS, but it doesn't have the temperature resistance, but you can print it open air. So, and it also has really good layer adhesion, but you have to print it hotter than PET G. It's like, it's harder to print than PET G, but it's better than ABS in some regards, but worse in some regards. I can never remember exactly where it sits on what stuff. Like, that's kind of the annoying part. Uh-oh, we might have a clog. We have a clog. Shoot! No! I should have purged more. Tune. Can I just tell it to purge? Where is... Live adjusted, change filament. Shoot. Flow factor. Yeah, we got a clog. Shoot. I should have purged more. Can you just tell, where's extrude? Return. Okay, tune. Print speed, nozzle temperature, heat bed temperature, print flow factor. Where is... Can you just tell it to extrude? User interface? No. Change filament? I'll just tell it to change filament. Shoot. I'm a little peeved now. Oh yeah, it's jammed. It's jammed. It's a sandpaper. I cleaned it. Yeah, it's... Oi, it's right jammed. Please open idler and remove filament. How do you open the idler on a Mark IV? Is it this side? It's this side. How do you open the idler on this? I gotta use an Allen key for this. I think I gotta use an Allen key. There we go. Open that up. Oh yeah, it's... Oh my god. Yeah, it's too thick, I think. There we go. Continue. There we go. Unloading. Maybe we could save it. Olive oil. Hopefully it was only a layer. Might just be a little under extruded for a bit. We'll see if we could save it. Oh, now it's purging good. I should have purged more. I should have purged more. Just to verify that it was purging. Yes. Resume. Oop, that's a little blob. Well, hopefully it joins up. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Yeah, it's extruding. See, what you do is because the middle's hollow, you just glue it from the inside and nobody sees. $1.87. Yeah, that'll do it. It's a little too thick. So I downloaded the files for these because I subscribe to Michael Bradley's Battley's. How do you pronounce it? Battley? The guy who does who designs the droids. Okay, that guy. So I'm on his not GitHub. I'm on his Patreon. And one of the files that I downloaded is for something called a Tito. And I actually have most of the hardware on hand in terms of bearings and screws. I had to buy a couple servos, and I'm just going to reuse electronics I already have and for controller. But I'm building this little guy. I'm gonna print and build this little guy for fun. So I got the stuff's on the way. It'll actually be in tomorrow. So that'll be a fun little video for the channel, I think. Building this little guy. In terms of hardware cost, I think it's only $50 for me, pretty much. Oh, there's tons of projects. There's tons of projects he has. But it's I've got, controllers, I've got servos, I've got the hardware to do this stuff on hand. I just had to buy a couple bearings because it's you need 623 bearings. I have a ton of 623 bearings. They're all F623 though. So I had to buy regular 623. And then we're going to a stroll the street tonight, and I'm just wondering how many people selling 3D printed toys am I going to see? Yeah, there's a little bit of a crappy under extruded layer in there, but that's fine. That's fine. So this was funny. Who here knows who Zyla Fox is? Who here knows who Zyla Fox is? She does a bunch of stuff, but rockets and planes and a lot of bottle tote stuff. But anyways, she did a video where she did a 3D printed rocket, and it was sponsored by Bamboo because Bamboo sponsors everyone. But they did a video where she 3D printed a rocket. And I was like, that was pretty cool. Yeah, xylofoxylin. Did I just say xylofox? Anyway, it's xylofoxylin. Anyways, so I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, it's a 3D printed rocket, but it's not really a fully 3D printed rocket because it uses like rocket motors and shit. And then I'm like, you could turn gummy bears into rocket fuel. You could do a fully 3D printed Prusa rocket because they come with gummy bears. And you can use that as the rocket fuel. Taylor, have any of your videos put random languages on for subtitles? I look at channel, it's still dead. No. Yeah, YouTube's being weird. I had one video in the last month get like 140,000 views, but it's a short. You didn't know nothing about Bamboo anyway. Oh, DeFinch, like, for all the jokes about Prusa paying people, Bamboo literally gives a free 3D printer to any content creator that even is remotely to tech. Like, I know so many people that got free printers from Bamboo. Like, and here's the affiliate link. Because their affiliate program, you make bank if you're part of their affiliate program. So they have a really big marketing budget. So they have a, although are the Prusa gummy bears, do they have sugar in them? They're not the sugar free ones. I have a whole box. I got a turkey in here too. Or actually, oh shoot, I think I put them inside. I think I ate them all actually. Yeah. Looking at my fridge and there's a turkey looking at me. It's like, oh. Well, what about injection molding with cheese? I mean, I've crushed my lunch in an injection mold press before. That was fun. Relatively spaced. Yeah, and they launched it once and they said, F that, we ain't doing that again. Because, fun fact, having a MIG gun on a KUKA arm welded dome is a very stupid way of making a pressure vessel for a rocket. You use metal, you use sheet metal and weld it, or, you know, vacuum form, or not vacuum form, you use isogrid or something. Like, there are much better, more efficient ways of making rocket bodies than 3D printing a freaking with a MIG gun strapped to a KUKA arm. Okay, rocket motors, yeah, internal geometry of rocket motors, yeah, there's plenty of parts on a rocket that makes sense to 3D print. Fully 3D printing the actual rocket itself is stupid. And I guarantee you they did it the one time so they could get investors who are like, I don't know anything, but 3D printing is cool. I throw money at stuff. They're throwing money at AI right now. But I guarantee you they did the first rocket to say they could do it, to get hype up. And then after they launched the first one, they went, yeah, we ain't doing that anymore. That was stupid. You talk about their poop, that really Bamboo doesn't like it if you talk about printer poop. Their machines poop out the back. Of course people are going to talk about it. I mean, they don't like me because their printer started smoking in my basement during a live stream and I questioned their safety. Cura use single wall only on top bottom layers. You should, Damien. I would think there's a way to do it. You could do it in Orca. You could do it in Prusa Slicer. You should be able to do it, but I'll be honest, it has been a hot minute since I've used Cura. So, yeah. Decided to replace the power switch assembly on my P1S. That sucks. Cura still, yeah, Cura has kind of gone by the wayside lately because most companies now use a shitty skin version of Orca. Or they're smart and they just, you know, release a profile for Orca and it's built in. Don't GE 3D print. Yeah, oh yeah. Plane engines, there's plenty of parts that make sense to make in additive manufacturing. Either because you have to waste so much material machining apart, or it has to be multiple components because you can't machine it. You just can't. But additive you can. There is plenty of things, but the thing is, like Terran, or relatively space for the Terran rocket, they literally just had a KUKA arm welding a dome, like 3D printed rocket. Like they were like just welding like dome sections, right? That's heavy as shit. Like welding these parts of the rocket thicker than it needs to be, a lot more annoying because you need to now inspect everything to ensure there's no cracks or voids or crevices. Like it's so much extra work versus, you know, shit on all you want, but SpaceX, they're like, hey, let's just get a sheet of metal and weld it in a dome. And they just weld it together in like a field in Texas. Oh, hey, look, biggest rocket ever. It works. Like, yeah. Additive manufacturing showed a segment where they welded a billet in titanium, then milled it back to shape rather than milling a huge billet. Yep. When I worked at a mold shop, some molds would be like, grab a piece of paper here. So imagine you need to make a cavity for a fascia. So on a fascia, okay, so it's your bumper, okay? So, you know, your bumper's curved, right? You're driving in your car, your bumper's shaped like this, right? It's your bumper, right? You got your headlights here, right? So it's your front fascia, the plastic thing. When you get boomers that are like, they don't make cars like they used to, because, you know, you crash your car and you break your bumper. No, okay, you boomer. Your bumper is still there. It's still metal. It's inside. It just has a plastic fascia in front of it, okay, for aerodynamics and styling. But anyways, so you got your fascia, that's injection molded. So you got your core here. So you have like, you know, cap, base, whatever, but then you have your cavity, okay? So on your cavity, it's the opposite shape, okay? So what I've seen him do sometimes, instead of turning all of this into nothing, because you have to machine a negative of this, okay? What you would do is you would get a block of steel, okay? You're still gonna make chips, but instead of, you know, turning all of this into waste, you machine that and then you just put a cap on this. So you put 2 blocks on that side and then you just machine those to size. So you're only wasting a little bit there, and then that material, right? So it's very common to attach either inserts, or I've seen it welded on. I've seen welded on before too. Welding's more annoying because you can't really weld inside, like you only weld the outside, but I've seen it done. So yeah, making it multiple components that bolt together, or you do it additively and you only have to do like the outside machining pass to clean it up. But, you know, it's a lot easier to just take a block of steel and just bolt it on than build up this much by this much by this much of 3D printed metal. So, yeah. Doesn't look quite clean. I mean, it doesn't help that we had a jam, so it kind of skipped a layer or two. So we got a little bit of a booger. It also doesn't help, I didn't dry any of this pop bottle, and there probably still is a little bit of the label mixed in there and some sandpaper. So yeah. Are they replacing the board? I know Grant's been reporting on the fire hazard with them. I'll be honest, I pretty much don't like look at Bamboo stuff at all anymore. They haven't really done anything in a while that interests me. But I know Grant's been looking into the fire hazard with the A1s, I believe it is, sandpaper. Yeah, I cleaned off the glue with sandpaper. Collected and sent off to be evaluated. I mean, I guarantee you it's simply a case of minimum viable product. Bamboo sells their printers they make profit on them. I do know they make profit on their printers, right? And they sell 2,400 A1s a day, last I heard. or at least they produce 2,400 A1s a day last I heard. So they're doing good, but they're still mass producing them to a cost and to a spec. And when you build cheap stuff by the millions, stuff makes it through that might not, should, I don't know. Yeah, Lance, I saw a picture of that this morning. There's a reason you build those things away from people. Hopefully it was just a straight up accident. It wasn't anyone's fault, but who knows? I'm just realizing this part has a layer shift in it. Oh well, I don't think it matters. Or actually, oh no, it doesn't. That's two parts screwed together. Oh, oh, their hot ends are really nice. Yeah, the bamboo hot end is a really nice thing. Like, it's really cheap and efficient. But the fact that, like, the heating element in the bed is literally just like a heating plate, heating element, and it's inconsistent. Like, that's one of the things that kind of annoyed me with the H2D. You look at it on I think it's the H2D or the H2S or one of them. It's like you look at the heating of the bed, and it's like very inconsistent. And it's like, for a machine that expensive, it should be better. H2DS. Did they put a different bed in the DS versus the oh no, DS. I'm thinking the H2S. Yeah, the H2Ds. Damn PACF. Damien, here's the trick. Carbon fiber makes everything look good. It's carbon fiber. It makes it a little fluffier, and it basically hides all surface imperfections. Half the reason people, I think, complain about Prusa print quality is because the printers, and this isn't just Prusas, this is stuff we've seen on Vorons and Bamboo and whatnot. Modern printers print so good that little inconsistent defects that used to hide a lot of issues like VFAs don't exist anymore. So stuff that we've always had, it's just you never really notice because like other stuff made it a non-issue. You notice now. Yep, Fiberon, yeah, Polymaker Fiberon's cheap today. I mean, I've got 6, 7, 8 kilograms of this stuff. Wait. Oh no, that's an empty box, right? Yeah, that's an empty box. I'm looking, I'm like, why do I have 3 boxes here plus 1 in there? And it's like, oh, I took 1 out of the box. And then I also have like a couple spools of just regular pet G, so. Is there a problem with the H2S bed? I'm thinking of buying one, or the P2S. Well, nobody, okay. Electric Cafe, look up reviews of the H2S. The bed just is a little inconsistent with the heating. Like you'll see a temperature drift across the bed. It's not evenly heated. As for the P2S, nobody knows a damn thing about it except that it's a P1S refresh, which means it's probably the same machine, just a little bit better. So. The ASA CF08. I have a couple kilograms of that stuff. We're going to be printing with it tomorrow night. Printing droid stuff. Yeah. So we'll be using that. I know Joel knows about it. I know a bunch of content creators who have them. I don't. But I know a bunch of content creators who have them. I just find it funny, you know, let me put on the right hat for this. If you notice, they're putting out a lot of stuff before Formnext to try and get people locked into their ecosystem before Formnext. The H2D release in August of all things. Okay. Tease the H2S. Again. Why then? And then the P1S refresh, they're announcing now. Formnext is next month. They did a massive sale when Snapmaker did their Kickstarter for the U1. They did like a massive sale. They're doing a lot of stuff to get people locked into their ecosystem before Formnext. Formnext is when people usually announce stuff. I really wonder what some people are cooking up if they're that scared. I am really curious to see what's going to be announced at Formnext. Because, like, yeah. Like, maybe it was Index. Because Index was originally planned to be released at Formnext, but now it's final iteration is going to be shown off at Formnext and then Q1 next year because it got pushed back a little bit. But I'm wondering what other people are cooking up. I wonder what other people are cooking up if Bamboo's that scared. Because I really think that they put all their eggs in the single nozzle multi-material ecosystem. Like that's what we're gonna do. We've told all these people, like, you know, we're the company that said no more bed flingers. Bed flingers suck, and then we came out with a bed flinger. And then, you know, they have a history of going back on what they said. And it's like, is somebody else planning a tool changer? Is somebody else coming out with something that's even better than a tool changer? I don't know. But it's got them spooked, I think. I think it's got them spooked. Which is good for us. Remember, you do not want one company being the best in the you don't want Prusa being the best 3D printing company in the world. You don't want Bamboo being the best 3D printing company in the world. You want a bunch of good companies competing. Because healthy competition drives prices down and brings more innovations to you. Is it from the 5G? I put it on because I make it obvious as hell. I wear this when I go tinfoil hat to make it obvious it's tinfoil hat shit, right? I call people out for going tinfoil hat. So I have my own tinfoil hat to call myself out when I go tinfoil hat. So I'm not crapping on Bamboo. I just think I think they kind of put themselves in a corner. Yeah, the H2C is definitely undercooked. The H2C needs its own printer. It should not. The H2C is like, let's do what the Index does, but worse in every way. So what's the point? For like $3,500 too, because it's going to cost H2D price plus another grand. So yeah. The Stratus, yeah, like there's the Mamakis and whatnot. I don't think that color tech with like the resin Mamaki stuff is going to be making its way down to FDM anytime soon. That shit is not cheap. Watch the video where Joel prints a bunch of colored figures, and it's like some of those figures cost like $100 to print in terms of like resin and material costs. The inks are not cheap. So it'd be great to have, you know, insert generic white filament or non-colored filament into this thing, and as the filament goes through, it gets dyed to automatically do full CYM key colors of your 3D print. That would be really cool, but that sounds expensive. That sounds really expensive. And then you have a proprietary filament that probably would not be cheap. Vortex seems fresh. Yeah, the Vortex, Adam. I love how people were saying it's an Index clone. When, if anything, it's more of a clone of this. Like, I don't know about you. That looks a lot like what Bamboo was cooking up. This looks more like what Bamboo was cooking up than Index. And this was announced a couple weeks or months before Bamboo showed off the Vortex or whatever. There's a project using each. I've seen people do it with markers. I've seen it where people use markers to color white filament as it prints. I've seen that be a thing. So I can't see what time it is. My hat's blocking. There we go. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Shoot. You got like 2 minutes. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Normally I would give you a warning. Get 2 minutes to go enter for the chance to win some Polymaker filament. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Because we're gonna be doing the draw in like 2 minutes, and then I gotta end right after because we're going out. No. Oh, enter. Link in video description. Scroll down, video description, enter link. That's not my right fidget toy. This is my fidget toy. Oh, it's locked. You have until the lttstore.com screwdriver stops spinning. You have until this stops spinning to enter. Ready? Ready? You have until the stop spinning to enter for the draw. And don't forget, there's like an 8-second delay, so you better hurry up. These go for a long frickin' time. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's done. Yeah, they put it just, it's there because when you're screwing it in, so you don't like, it spins against your palm as you're screwing it in, right? Right, it's just, you know. But they put a really good bearing in here and it goes. Okay, let's do this giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. And for everyone who entered the giveaway, you did like the smash button, right? You did, you made sure to follow the channel. You made sure to like the like button. You did that, right? Because you totally, you know, took the time to scroll down there and enter to win a free thing, and you totally, while on your way there, you liked that smash button, right? You didn't skip it, right? Right? Okay, file save. Andrew Rogers, $10 for the Friday fund. Cheers and appreciate it. Ooh. Yeah, the precision set is actually really nice. I know there's other companies that make pretty much the same thing, but I like it. They sent it to me. I can't complain. I'm not cool enough to get a fancy custom one, but they did send me it. Okay, so we got 241 people. Yeah, I got the names. Random bots 241. Play. Ba-da-bum bum 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 bum. Ba-da-bum bum bum. You wore your cover your ass shirt? Or no, wait, that's not COA. What's COA? Okay, how this works, if you win, you get a spool of filament from Polymaker. But if I pick your ball and you win, you are the luckiest ball in the world. You also get a free hat. This one right here. Which one is that? Porky? Parky? Parky! Parky, if you win, you get a free hat along with your spool of filament from Polymaker. Anyone else, if you win, you just get the spool of filament from Polymaker. Good luck! Remember, exclamation mark zoom zoom does nothing. Exclamation mark gullible, that's a surprise. And if you are subscribed to the channel and a channel member, potentially that may also help. Maybe, potentially. Who knows? I'm just wondering if this is actually going to finish before it runs out of filament. Because we're getting pretty close to the end of this. I am out of pop bottles too, so I can't really, I should have printed this with 2 walls. I'm like, yeah, I'll print it with 3 walls so I use up more filament so I can get the color changes in. But, yeah. Might not have enough. I might have to finish it with like a normal pet. With the sale, the free spools voucher will get you 3 spools of Panachrome. Dang. Yeah, actually, I have no idea how it works. It used to be a spool, then it was a coupon. I can't remember what it is now when you win. If you actually get like if they give you like X amount for spools, I can't remember what it is. You get a free spool. You get at least a free spool. So. And shipping, which is nice. It's a $35 coupon. Okay, there you go. And I think free shipping too. So like if you live in Canada or the US, and I think Europe too, it ships through their Amazon. Like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, Christopher. Christopher Stacer with the win. here. Stays there. Yeah, I could see that not being a good... Yeah, that's probably way too sugary for a good... Although it would probably smell really good. Okay, so congratulations, Christopher. You have won yourself a spool of filament from Polymaker. You'll get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. So golf claps in chat. Here. So we are going to call it there. Tomorrow's stream is probably going to be a print and chill, printing with the big guy and printing some robot parts and just kind of hanging out, having a fun time. So shout out to Christopher for winning the spool of filament. There'll also be a video this weekend, probably the Big Tree Tech video from 3D Printopia. The Big Tree Tech has a bunch of cool stuff to announce. So that'll be in Saturday or Sunday. Can't remember when. You'll get it early though if you're a channel member or Patreon supporter. So that's cool. So yeah, so we're gonna call it there. Shout out to KB3D again and Josh from the Recreator team. They provided me this kit for the build that we did on Tuesday and then playing around today. You probably will see this a bit on the channel in the future. I got to get more pop bottles, so I actually got to collect a bunch of pop bottles and make a bunch of filament before I get around to using this more. But it works. It works. It's fun. Look at the little cat. It's got the really crappy layer line there though, because it under extruded for a layer. So that's that. Shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament we gave away this stream and every stream. Don't forget, today is the last day of their restock sale. So 35% off pretty much everything on their site. Use the affiliate link in the video description or pinned in chat. Help support the channel, get some cheap filament. Everyone wins. And for those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you for not being able to do the things I do, create the content I create. Without your continued support, you make it all possible. I'm Taylor Canuck Creator. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe out there. Wash your hands, and I will see you in the future. Good night.